And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
All right. This is exciting. I'm getting an echo. So,
It's because the sound room is
is that what it is, the sound room? Okay. I was wondering what the echo was.
A
But
double dose of Tom.
yeah, it's bad enough. One dose of Tom, much less two
double
second dose,
dose.
right? So,
Woo!
my number is 10, Mike 10.
Mike 10.
Mike 10.
Okay.
So happy Friday, everyone. As you can see, we're still trying to get used to the new system. And we're tweaking it and having some fun with that. So, you know, when your equipment gets more sophisticated, then your knowledge of it has to become more sophisticated of it, and it takes a little bit of time sometimes to get through that. So, but hopefully you're able to see us and hear us on TV. We're assuming that's the case because that's what we're being told here.
And
So
nobody's running in the room right now?
no residents have been running in the room, so
So-
either they're not watching or that we're actually on and they're not wanting
Right,
to.
right.
They don't want to leave the front of their TV sets
That's
because
right.
they're glued to the front of it right now.
It was
so.
Whitney today. It's already boosted our
Well,
ratings.
just going to say, you know, Ken usually drops our ratings. Whitney
boosts
increases our ratings when we have it.
Right.
So. Well, welcome, Whitney.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you on the show with us.
I'm glad to be here, as always.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. So, okay. Do you all want to flip the
Ready, Whitney?
Oh,
the hourglass
here
on?
my
We're going to flip forward.
paraphernalia here. Ready? Forward. 1,
2, 3.
3.
Okay.
Look at the skill.
Look at that.
So
Teamwork.
we kind of ran out of time on Wednesday.
Ooh, we did. But we are not going to do that today.
We're going to try not to do that today. We're going to motor through some stuff today.
Yes.
So we get you out of here by 7 o'clock for sure. So. All right. Well, let's see. Do we have a trivia question today?
We do. And this one is from Jim Kalaki.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
And the prize today will be
Yeah.
a $25 gift card to Target,
$25 gift
which you
card.
can order online and have it delivered right to you.
Okay.
Or you can actually do a pickup outside the store too, right, Whitney?
That's right.
So you can do a in-store pickup too. You don't have to
Yes.
leave your car, right?
That's right.
So that's even better.
You can also get a Target gift card.
Yes.
I believe you can get one of those at Harris Teeter.
Oh,
Whoa.
really?
Yeah, you can get all kinds of gift cards at Harris Teeter. You can even place it with your grocery order.
Wow.
So if you wanted to mail a gift
Okay.
to a family member, you could
That's good to
order it
know.
with your groceries and then just stick it in the mail.
It's exciting.
It's very cool.
That's very
You've learned a lot about grocery shopping, haven't you?
I have, yes. Yeah.
You're an expert shopper now.
I would consider myself an expert.
I think you
I
are.
think you are for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, back to Jim's question.
Yes, please.
Who wrote the Divine Comedy? Who wrote the Divine Comedy?
Divine Comedy.
Okay,
huh?
so if you know the answer to this question,
Yes.
Call.
What number do you call?
call.
Call.
You ready? There's one line,
One line.
336
Right.
389
Right.
4103. The line is now open.
Yep. Oh, and she's already running out
She
of
is
the room.
running out of the room.
Okay, that's exciting. That's
Wow.
good. All right. Sorry, Jim. You're probably not going to be able to get the $25.
Probably not.
That would be my guess anyway.
Yes,
So.
I think you're right.
Okay, so let's go over the coronavirus statistics. Let's see. We did this on Wednesday, so this is 2 days from there, so it's 2 days more. In those 2 days, believe it or not, almost 54,000 tests in the state of North Carolina. That's averaging about 27,000 a day. They're really
amazing.
stepping up the testing at this
Wow.
point. So out of those almost 54,000 tests, we had about 4,000 positive cases. So still running right around that 7.5% rate, which we know we're trying to get down to that 5% rate.
Right.
So, and then overall, we've had 1,150,000 tests, completed tests in the state, 81,331 positive cases for an average of about 7.1% positive. Since Wednesday, we have had an additional 38 deaths. We're at 1,479 in the state. And again, our hospital stays have gone up again. It's gone up another 52. We're at 1,046 today. So, that's the statistic I think that's really a little scary to me is the
Right.
number of hospitalizations that keep going up. So wear your masks, for sure,
Yes,
wear your
yes.
masks. Let's see, the individual counties, Mecklenburg in 2 days went up 668 cases, Wake went up 427, Guilford 165, Duke went up 144, and Forsyth went up, I said Duke, I meant Durham. Durham County went up 144, and Forsyth went up 130 cases in 2 days. And then when you look at it from the nursing home and residential care facility standpoint, we have had additional 219 cases. And that is, and we've had 14 additional deaths. We're at 813 right now. And that, we said before that it was 60%. Now we've come down to about 55%. So we're still running right around that 55% mark as far as number of deaths in nursing homes and retirement communities and residential care facilities as compared to the total number of deaths in the state. And then the number of outbreaks in nursing homes and residential care facilities went up 5. We're at 216. So unfortunately, numbers continue to climb, as we know. Not a ton of positive here, unfortunately. We're still seeing a steady increase. That percentage positive is still a bit difficult. As we try and get closer to that 5% mark, I just think that's, we just got to be smarter out there. We got to get our folks to be able to be wearing their masks. We know the masks are the main thing. So, that's kind of a little on the negative side, to be honest with you. And I apologize. There wasn't really a whole lot of good to come out of those numbers today, but I do want to share a little bit about something I had a chance to be able to do yesterday afternoon. I was invited down to our sister community, Glen Eyre, and Glen Eyre was the recipient of a pretty special VIP. The Deputy Secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services for the federal government was in Raleigh Wednesday evening, and on Thursday afternoon he stopped by with his entourage, stopped by Glen Eyre. So I was invited to come down and have a chance to kind of meet Eric Hagren, I think is his name. Eric has been in this position since 2017, and he was in this position or a similar position to this back in the Bush administration. But it was a great opportunity to be able to kind of meet somebody that's in the federal government that's very high up. We were very, Presbyterian Homes in Glen Eyre should be very proud that they happen to be the closest one to the airport, so that's how they got picked. And so, but it was really good, and we got a chance to not only share a little bit about the Presbyterian Homes and what we do and what we've done with the stimulus monies that we've gotten and what we've done as far as being able to just overall how we've been handling the COVID situation. We were able to share a lot of information about that. But we also were in a position to ask a lot about, kind of where are we from a COVID situation. So there was a couple things that came out of that conversation I thought you all might be interested in. We asked him, we said, what is the main thing that you really are working on now? And he said, not surprisingly, he said the vaccine. The vaccine is really where they're concentrating. He said they've been going at warp speed. They actually call it warp speed. So they've really been working hard to develop this vaccine to be able to help us with getting rid of the COVID-19. I thought he was very positive. He said that the U.S. government has invested in several companies at this point with the hopes that they are going to be developing this potential vaccine for COVID-19. And they've been following them. They've been going through the safety checks. That was the first thing they went through. All of these companies that are trying to develop a vaccine are going through safety checks, and that they're in trials now. And I thought that it was really promising. He said that they have 4 particular vaccines that they are getting ready to do a huge trial on. Each one of the 4 vaccines will have 30,000 participants. And so, that'll be very interesting to see what happens from that. And we kind of asked him, he said, what do you think the chances are about how fast we might get a vaccine? And he said that their whole goal has been that by January of 2021, they had wanted to be able to have a vaccine. So he says, as far as he's concerned, they're still on target for that. They're still very optimistic about that, even to a point where they've been working on the infrastructure underneath of that to be ready once the vaccine has been approved and they have the vaccine that they want to use. Right now they're already working on distribution channels and buying syringes and doing all those things that you would need to do to roll this out pretty quickly once they have a viable vaccine. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The other thing I thought that he said interesting about this was that there are a lot of drug manufacturers across the world who have expressed interest in being the ones that eventually will get whatever vaccine it is that we want to produce and produce that for us. And Eric was sharing with us yesterday that they are not going to have any kind of companies across the world doing this. They really want it to be a U.S. company to be doing this because they don't want to have a problem where it's being developed in another country or being made in another country and the country says, well, we're not shipping you any vaccine until we take care of all of our own people first. And they're afraid that could happen very easily. So it will be a U.S. company or U.S. companies that will actually be making the vaccine once they have it. So I thought it was some really good news. He said that there was a lot of really good corroboration with several other countries. They're sharing a lot of information. He said one of the more promising vaccines that they have, there actually is a partnership between the UK and the U.S. On that particular vaccine. So thought that was good. He also said that they're working on and getting closer to being able to treat the COVID virus better than what they've had in the past. They've been working on a kind of a cocktail of drugs that has had some positive effect on treating COVID-19. So, there was a lot more information. I won't bore you with all of that, but that was really kind of, I thought it was very enlightening. I did ask one question, which I thought was kind of interesting, and they kind of laughed when I told them because I said, this is the burning question, for everybody, and that was, did this really come from a bat? Did this really come from bats? And they laughed, and they said, nobody's really asked us that question in a long time. He said, well, we don't really know, but he says, I will tell you that, and I said, well, maybe you wouldn't be able to tell us even if you knew, but he did say that they had been kind of begging and pleading with China to be able to send one of the first generation diseases over to the U.S. so that we could study it, analyze it, and really kind of figure out the origin of it. And China just refusing to send it to us. And so, I guess that's not surprising. But so I thought that was good. I thought that was really some very encouraging things. It was a good visit. They were there for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer, and so it was neat to be able to have a chance to be a part of that and get a chance to meet Eric, who I thought was a really good guy. I thought he was really down to earth, and he's a Harvard grad lawyer, but he was he really was I thought very personable and very easy to talk to. So it's really good meeting yesterday. Okay, so Lisa, we also want to talk about switching gears a little bit. I think we mentioned on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure we did, that the state government here has told us that they're going to be working with CVS to start testing in nursing homes.
Right.
And as you all know, we have a nursing home here. So we did get a phone call yesterday from CVS. We have set a date for the testing, which will be the 27th of this month. They will only be testing staff and residents in both Pebble Beaches, Pebble Beach 1 and Pebble Beach 2, and in Wingfoot. So it'll be just those three areas. They are not going to be testing, at the moment, they're not going to be testing in St. Andrews or in Muirfield. And of course, independent living, there was never any real thought that there was going to be testing there. So it'll be a one-time testing thing. We'll just have to see the results. They said, CVS told us it would take about 2 to 4 days to get the results back, and then we'll just kind of see where we are at that point. So There's a lot of work that has to be done, a lot of paperwork that has to be done before they come out and start doing that test, but we got a couple weeks to try and get that done. But, just want to make sure that we're kind of being upfront about what's happening and the testing that's being done for Pebble Beach 1, Pebble Beach 2, and for Wingfoot. And like I said, that'll be on July the 27th.
Yes.
Okay. Lisa, what else we got?
You mentioned this earlier, but we are still tweaking the multipurpose room AV system.
Right.
So I appreciate your patience. We know we weren't able to show Hamilton yesterday, so we're working on rescheduling that, and some other DVD issues that we've had. So still working on that piece of it with the new system. We had our AV folks in here again today doing some more tweaks. And we will post announcements under CareMerge. So when we have a change in our schedule, we'll go ahead and have an announcement up on CareMerge. So you'll see what's playing in here and broadcasting and all that good stuff. Right now, we're just having to kind of switch around a little bit.
Well, it's really a whole lot of new equipment.
It is
So we're still trying to
lot.
get used to how it all works together. And quite honestly, they're still tweaking how it's going to work together. And
They
so,
are. They are.
And there might even be some other things that are going to happen over the next couple of weeks.
Right.
Delays or things that we're going to find or experience that are going to be, just issues that we're going to have to work through. So please be patient during this time. I think we're pretty good with these types of programs
Right,
now.
right.
We've got this all figured out, but things like
the other
DVDs and things like
parts.
that,
Yeah.
we're still going to need some time to work through some of that stuff. So, and that's not surprising, but we've been told by a lot of residents that the audio quality is better. We've been
Right.
hearing from residents
Picture quality's better.
the picture quality has been so much better.
Right.
And, I'm not sure if that's good for us or bad for us, that the
They
picture
didn't think
quality
they
is
were
better.
saying we looked better. It just the picture looked
No,
better.
they were very careful about
They
not
were
saying that
careful
we
about
look better.
that.
So,
Yes,
yeah, good
absolutely.
point. Yeah. So maybe that'll change with Whitney being on here. Maybe that'll help us.
I don't know about that.
Once again, the ratings go up.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, we have several questions today, and there are several parts to the questions.
Oh, boy.
Okay?
Multi-part questions.
Yes. Okay, the first one, let's try to tackle this.
Okay.
Can people in the cottages have someone from the apartments to their house, and can we go visit someone in the apartment? So can folks that live outside and folks that live inside, can they go back and forth now,
Yeah.
now that we're in phase 2?
Yeah.
And they just wanted to clarify, of course, this is with a face mask and social distancing, and can it only be on the patio or porch, or can we go inside each other's homes?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on in that question.
Well, there are. I think the answer to this is, that first of all, the answer is yes, you can. Absolutely. Apartment residents can visit with outside residents can visit with apartment
Right,
residents.
right.
We still like the idea of you being, obviously, it goes without question, wearing a mask, social distancing. We like the outside interactions because we feel it's safer. It's a safer process to be able to do that. But we're not telling you have to do that.
Sure.
So if you want to go and visit in somebody's apartment or somebody's home, you can. We just think it takes a little bit extra. It's a little bit extra risk to do it that way.
Right.
Probably not a major amount of risk, but a little bit more risk. And so that's why we're always going to err towards the side of caution
Right.
and tell you that we'd rather have you be in an outside area. But it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
And it still is okay to be asking that person that you're visiting when you're going in their home, are you going out in the public a lot?
Yeah.
It's still good to really know who you're visiting with.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to ask each other those questions.
Sure.
Have you been out to Walmart?
Sure.
Have you been out in a store? Are you wearing your mask when you're outside of here?
Yeah.
Things like that. It doesn't hurt to still ask your friend that.
Yeah, Lisa, at some point here when we open up the front entrance, which, by the way, they're making really good progress on our landscaping walls up there, and we're probably going to be opening in the next couple of weeks. When we open up the front gate system and all, we're going to stop screening residents. We're going to stop taking temperature checks and screening them at the entrances.
Right.
We're still going to be doing the temperature checks at the dining areas, and I want to make that clear. We're still doing temperature checks at the dining areas, but we are not going to be doing that at the front gates. So it's going to be even more important for residents. The accountability is going to be, and responsibility be more on the residents to ask each other some of those screening type things.
Absolutely.
Because you're protecting yourself at this point.
Right.
So the answer is yes. I mean, yeah, absolutely you should be trying to ask those questions of people that you're going to visit. And make sure you stay 6 feet away, and make sure you're wearing your mask. And when you leave a person's home, and you're going to your home, then as soon as you get home or as soon as you get inside the building here or whatever, hand sanitizer, wash your hands. Don't put your hands to your face. Those are, all good things to be aware of.
Yes, absolutely. It's following those 3 W's.
That's right.
Next question. We would like to see our children who live in North Carolina. Can we see them, and what are the restrictions? Only in open air, or can we go inside their houses? Can we stay overnight? So this is a lot of questions involved in this.
Well, and a lot of the same answers as the first question. The answer is, we can't legally restrict you from leaving the campus. We can encourage you not to go into a lot of public areas. But the question about children is a hard one because, you want to be able to trust that when you go see your children and your family that they don't have COVID-19, but you don't know that. We just had this classic example, what was it, last week, where we had a resident that went to the beach with their family.
Thinking it was safe.
And one of the grandsons, I think it was, I'm not sure if I remember what the relationship was, one of the grandsons got sick. Fortunately, the resident left right when the grandson got sick and found out later that the grandson was positive. So, you can't let your guard down when you're with family any more than you can with anybody else. And so you need to be screening them as well and making sure that they're not putting you at risk.
Right.
Because if they're putting you at risk, they're putting all of us at risk.
Absolutely.
So,
and it still goes when you're doing overnight trips. You still communicate with Cindy on that.
Yeah.
So that's still important to talk through your trip. Because at this point, that's how we decide if someone's quarantined or not. If you're going on an airplane, on a cruise ship, we can pretty much tell you that's going to be a quarantine.
Right.
But other trips, if you're driving a car, you're going straight to that location, that may not be a quarantine. So that's why any overnight trips, just run that past Cindy, and she'll help you kind of walk through that and see if it's, make sure you're doing it as safe as possible if you're taking trips.
Yeah. And so the answer is, the answer to all these questions is yes, you can do these things. And, obviously, again, we'd rather you be outside visiting as opposed to inside, but, it's 90-some degrees outside, too.
Right,
and so we get it. That's not going to work for everybody. And so it's okay to be inside. Again, just be careful when you're doing this stuff. And can you stay overnight? Yes, you can stay overnight. But like you said, they need to just clear that through Cindy.
Just run the scenario through Cindy.
Again, we're not telling you not to do these things.
Right.
We're just asking you to be careful when you do. So.
Okay, what is the official answer on going into a store or the farmer's market? It's peach season, isn't it? So we've gotten that question too. I want to go to the farmer's market to get my peaches. So, and they're asking because they know they'd still wear a mask, they'd social distance, and hand sanitizer and wash their hands. But what's our feeling about stores and farmer's market?
Yeah.
It's like you said before. I mean, we can't stop you from going to a store or the farmer's market.
Again, this is all about being smart.
Right.
If you're going to go to the farmer's market, go either really early or go really late when there's not a lot of crowds.
Same thing with the store. Right.
Don't go on the weekends.
Absolutely.
Don't go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Go on a Monday evening or a Tuesday evening when it's not so crowded. And I would say the same thing about a store. We'd rather you not go into a store because, and we also need you to check with your store. If you're going to a food line or a place where they're requiring masks, well, that's going to be safer than another store that doesn't care whether the customer is wearing a mask or not. So, the mask is only one way. It only helps you to some extent. If you have somebody else that's coughing and sneezing in the store and those droplets are in the air and they are, all over the place, then even a mask as nice as this one isn't going to completely keep it out. It keeps you from putting out that kind of stuff, but it doesn't necessarily keep out 100% of what's out in the air. So, it really needs a combination of both. Both parties have to be wearing masks to be able to try and really control those droplets. So, I guess it's a long way to say, you can go into stores, again, go later in the evening, go on Monday night, Tuesday. Quite honestly, my wife and I go to Costco about every 3 or 4 weeks. We have to go and make a run to Costco. And so one thing I love about Costco is you cannot walk in that store without a mask on, which I love. And we always go on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, and it closes at 8:30. We'll get there about 7:30, and we park almost right in front. There's hardly anybody in there, and it's just a really great time to go. Now, do they have everything at that point? Well, they may not have toilet paper at that point. They probably won't. But they have everything else, and so, again, I think we're just talking about being smart here.
Right, absolutely.
Just being smart.
When you're waiting in line, keep your distance.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And if you see that somebody's not keeping your distance, usually a little look, they'll back right
Go
up.
back right off.
Have
yeah.
you had to do that, Whitney?
I've given the look. Yeah, like you need to back up. You're not in your
Right, right.
distance.
Sure.
I need you to keep. I do think most people are aware of it, and a lot of the stores have the markers on the
On the
ground.
floor.
Yes,
Right,
that's
right.
right.
All that helps.
So, it still would rather you do call the store and pick up,
Sure.
or do delivery still.
Right,
Those are still
absolutely.
options that everybody can still do.
Yep.
It's the safest way. If you don't have to go into the store, it's always going to be safer. But,
Right,
we can't stop you.
right, right.
Just be smart. Just be smart and safe.
This next question, we've gotten a little more questions on. Can I go eat at a restaurant outside of here? And that's a hard one, because when you're eating out in a restaurant, you for sure going to have to take your mask down.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that. I mean, you have to do it here when you're eating with our residents. So when you go outside of here and do that, you're even more exposed to the general public.
Right.
At least here, you're making reservations with your own residents. We're kind of that little group right here. When you go out to a regular restaurant, I don't know who's at the table next to you. Those kind of things. So it's not advisable to go eat out at a restaurant right now. Once again, we can't tell you that you can't,
Right.
but we don't think it's as advisable right now. Call and get pickup from there. Most restaurants have curbside pickup, which is great.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of your favorites, Outback, some of the great restaurants all have curbside pickup. So
And
that-
delivery.
And delivery, absolutely.
Yeah, and if it's just something you have to do, don't go during prime hours. Don't go at 6 o'clock when everybody
When
else
it's
is
full.
there. I
Right.
mean, that's the biggest mistake. And I hate to say it, but when people are eating, they're usually talking to somebody, and so there is, when you're talking, there is that chance for
Sure.
stuff to be coming out of your mouth. I'm not trying to be gross, but
Sure.
it's just the way it is. You're talking, and there's just more of a possibility of cross-contamination there. And so, if you can sit outside, well, that's a little better than sitting at a table inside. But it's 90 degrees outside.
Sure,
I don't know how many
sure.
people really want to sit outside during this time.
Right.
But, I'll tell you, personally, and I think all three of us will say the same thing,
Yeah.
none of us are eating in restaurants right now. And most of our staff are not eating in restaurants right now.
Right.
If I have restaurant food, I am taking it out.
curbside pickup.
Yeah, I am taking
At the
it
most.
out.
Otherwise, cooking at home.
Cooking at
I mean,
home.
it's just gotten
Yeah.
to be more of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just don't feel comfortable sitting in the restaurant with people who have no idea where they've
Yeah.
been
Yeah,
or what they've been exposed to. So it's just reducing your risk.
absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
That was it for questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those were,
Those were
they're very good questions.
They are good
And
questions.
they're hard questions because, we really want to try and protect you. We want
Right.
to try and do our best to help you make good choices. But at the same time, we don't want to control you either. So, you have to kind of do what you have to do.
Sure.
We're just asking you, since a lot of the public out there is not being smart about what they're doing, you have to be extra smarter when you
Right,
do things.
right.
So,
yeah.
okay. Well,
Okay.
are we ready?
We are
ready.
Time for Whitney.
Whitney, not to put the pressure on, but when Ken was here Wednesday, he did Dave Barry quotes. Is that what you're going to be doing something like that?
No, I don't think so.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do a little dance or something
Okay.
instead.
Are you going to do the Jane Fonda thing again? Should I pull the treadmill
Yeah,
out?
maybe so.
Yeah.
Have to go get
You
my
have to do
balloon.
that again.
Maybe not so much since quarantine, though.
That's right.
Quarantine. So I'd love to talk about wellness, Tom.
Please, talk about wellness.
We have a beautiful building that is nearing completion. So
Yeah.
we're looking at sometime in August, hopefully early to mid-August. We'll
Yeah.
see how everything.
Hopefully.
Yep, see how it goes. But in preparation for that, we are going to do some tours. So residents are going to be able to take a tour the week of July 20th
Right.
through our new wellness space. So it's going to be it's just going to be the building. We don't have the equipment in there yet, and there's still some things they're doing and tweaking.
Yeah.
But we're going to do small groups. You'll be able to sign up for a time slot. We're doing a Monday through Friday, 10, 11, and 12, and then 2, 3, and 4. So those are your time options, and you've got 5 different days. So hopefully plenty of time slots to be able to choose from.
So yeah, we figured that was 6 tours a day times 5 days, so that's 30 tours, and we can do as many as 10 residents
That's
on
right.
each tour, right? So we have room for 300 residents,
That's right.
which we think is probably going to be enough, but
Right. And
if we need to, we'll spill into the next week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If for some reason we can't get everybody squeezed in, then we'll continue through the next week.
Yeah.
And when are the sign-ups going out, Whitney?
The sign-ups are going out when, Brian? He's got the book, and he's going to go put it out there right after the
After
show.
the show.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. There might be a line up there when we...
You better keep
Yeah.
your 6 feet distance.
Exactly.
Yes.
And please only sign up once,
Yes.
Yes.
because we want to try and give everybody a
And
chance
if there's
to go
not a
through it.
line there, don't just write your name in.
Yeah.
It truly is 10 people.
10 is the
10
limit.
people, no wait list,
No wait
nothing
list.
like that. Just
Right.
find a blank line to put your name
Absolutely.
on.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I think that's going to
Mhm.
be fun. And
Very
Whitney,
exciting.
you're going to be doing probably most of the tours, but
Yes.
I think Brian's planning on helping, and maybe Cindy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Lisa and I, if we need to, can jump in and help out as well if we need to. That's a lot of tours to
It
get.
is a lot of tours.
It's exciting.
Yes, very exciting.
And we need to probably say, we are expecting and hoping by then that we'll have our elevator inspection.
That's right.
So that we can use the elevator. If we don't, I think we still might have a way around that. We're working through that, but just
But
keep it.
I'm not going to be carrying people up the
Well, I
stairs.
hope not. Yeah, that won't be a good thing. So, although it is the wellness center, so it's
I won't be very well afterwards. No, we'll make that work. So that'll be the week of July 20th for those. So the sign-up sheet will go out after the broadcast today.
Okay.
Okay? And then just to tell you where to meet, we are going to be meeting in that wellness lobby area right across from the pool and the beauty shop. So if you're signed up, say you're signed up for 10 a.m., you can meet right in that wellness lobby area, right by the beauty shop.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Let's move on from wellness a little bit.
Okay.
Should we talk about delivery?
Yes.
deliveries.
Since that was your life for like a couple months. All you
Yeah,
were doing was
several
deliveries,
months.
it seemed like.
Lots of deliveries,
Yes.
lots of groceries.
Strawberries.
Strawberries.
Remember that?
I do. And when you said peaches, I was just thankful.
Were you cringing?
I was cringing a little bit. But you can get your own peaches.
That's right.
But with that being said, we are really going to start limiting the services for delivery. So the front desk is going to be accepting most of the deliveries, even the Instacart and that sort of thing will be coming to the front desk. The front desk will give you a call when your delivery arrives and say, so-and-so, can you come down and pick up your delivery? We're going to go back to how it was before COVID,
Right,
where if you
right.
had a package or something like that, you would come down to the front desk. Now, the exception is if it's a big box or something heavy or you just feel like you wouldn't be able to get it back up to your apartment, then we're going to help you do that.
Right.
But for the most part, we're hoping that everybody can come and get their packages or deliveries and take them up themselves. And we do have carts, of course, so there's still carts down there for you to have.
Absolutely.
So, and then, okay, let's look there. Anything else related to packages, Lisa?
I think that's it. We've had some exceptional helpers with deliveries.
We have.
Yes.
And so we're kind of nearing toward the middle of summer where some of our younger folks are going to be hopefully heading back to school.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the colleges have pretty much said they're going back.
They're going back.
And some of our helpers have online classes that are going to be starting in the beginning of August.
You're right. So we're starting to see some of our folks go back to their school duties and all that good stuff. So we really appreciated their help during all of this.
We've had some great helpers.
We have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. All right, and then it looks like we had a question about the timeline for opening the new building, and I think we answered that.
Yeah, it's all a process now of getting the right inspectors in and finishing, because we've got to finish the outside work. It's not done yet.
Right. Landscaping.
I think we had a little bit of an issue with concrete pour yesterday. It's so hot, the concrete sets pretty fast.
Right.
And they weren't really prepared for that, so I think they had to pull that up and start over again. So we know it's going to take a little bit of time to get the outside completely done, or at least to a point where we can get what they call a TCO, or temporary certificate of occupancy, and that's what we're looking for. So, but Whitney, when is the equipment going to start coming in, right?
The equipment's going to be in early August, as long as we have that certificate of occupancy.
Right.
Temporary one. So beginning of August, we're going to be getting our cardiovascular machines, all of our strength training equipment. We already have 3 brand new steps that are just waiting to be put in the new building.
Yeah.
So we're all lined up. When they give us the go-ahead, we'll call and say we want you to bring it in.
So there's 2 pieces to this I think that the residents need to hear. One is when the building's going to be ready for us to be able to use legally.
Right.
And then, of course, we're still waiting on the governor to tell us that we can use the gym equipment, which, with the way numbers are right now, who knows? I mean, next Friday is the next kind of date that he set out there as an update type thing. So I think we're going to be hearing some things next week, and we don't know if the gyms are going to open up or if the bars are going to open up.
And we don't know what restrictions will be in place when we do open. So it may be that we open up, it's a sign-in process. We can only have a certain number of people using the fitness equipment. That way we can clean after every sign-in slot. So we'll just have to play it by ear.
Yeah, we're speculating. We don't really know what the result, what's going to be. We'll just have to wait and see. But, the timing might be very good because, the governor, even if we had the new gym now, we couldn't use it.
Right.
So, maybe by August, which is another 3 weeks from now, maybe by then, we'll be in a better state and the governor will allow the gyms to be open at least to some capacity at that point. So.
And we may open the track and the basketball court before we open the equipment.
Yeah.
But I just want y'all to know that we want it to open just as bad as you do. So if we can make it happen, we will. We will try and figure out a way to make it happen safely.
Yeah.
That's our number one priority is that we can do it and keep everyone safe.
Right.
I was just thinking that the walking track's going to be so nice because I was thinking, the walking track will be great in the wintertime because it's so cold you can't walk outside or whatever. But even in the summertime, because even when it gets to 90s during the day, it's already sticky and hot in the morning when you try and walk.
Even this morning, it was already hot.
Yeah, it just felt hot.
Ask our outdoor fitness group. They're out there early, 8:30, but when I see Jill, she's covered in sweat because the humidity is intense.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so, having the walking track even during the summertime or when it's raining. I mean, it's going to be great to have that. I mean, especially that big.
It's nice and wide. You're going to have plenty of room.
Yeah.
And the burning question, how many laps to make a mile?
It looks like it's going to be 16 laps to make a mile.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So you got to count pretty high. So
You got to be able to count high, or you got to just keep a clicker with you. Yeah.
Maybe that's our trivia question next week to see who watched our show.
Well, you just,
And maybe we'll give away a
you
clicker.
just told them the trivia question, so that's
Let's see if they're paying attention.
That's right, and we can give them a clicker as their prize.
Yes.
Maybe we give away several clickers.
Maybe the first 10 people that call in with the right number
They get a clicker.
gets a clicker.
That's right.
I like it.
Okay.
Clicker.
Okay. You watching next week?
I'll get on Amazon and order some clickers.
Get some clickers.
Some clickers, will you?
Okay.
Anything else, Whitney?
I think that's all. As always, if you ever have any questions regarding wellness or groceries, deliveries, give me a call. And just to we did talk about deliveries, but if a resident doesn't drive or needs help with an online order for groceries, Jill and I are still helping residents with that. So if you need something from the grocery store and you're not sure how to order, call us. We're happy to help you.
That's
And if
great.
you're not driving, we can help you arrange for a delivery, which is really easy,
Sure.
or we can get it for you from the online pickup. So
Perfect.
just wanted to
Okay,
acknowledge that too. We're still happy to help.
that's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney. And thank you for the great job that you all did helping us through, a really difficult part of the COVID-19 stuff. So,
We had a really great group.
yeah,
Yes,
we did.
yes. Okay, we're down to birthdays.
Birthdays.
Happy birthday today to Lee Oliver,
Ooh.
Dick Schroer,
Wow.
and Bob Nolan.
Oh, that's a good group there.
Yes.
birthday.
And then tomorrow, Saturday is Betty Amos,
Yes.
Diane Giffen, and
Right.
Subette
Oh,
Strand.
my goodness. That's really
And
another
then Sunday,
Yes.
Ed Greer and Mary Beth Lynch.
Jeez.
And then I'm going to go ahead with Monday because
Right.
we're not going to be on until Tuesday next week.
Okay.
So Monday is Dr. Gail Havens and
Yes.
Patricia Lehman.
Yes.
So yes, so happy birthday to you all.
Very good. Very good.
Okay,
So do we have a winner?
we do.
Okay.
Okay. But this person's lucky and very smart apparently.
I was going to
Okay.
say, is it luck or are they just really smart?
Like, that's so easy. I just happened to be the first one that got it, but like, I kept having, I missed several calls.
So apparently everyone that called in with the answer said this one was so easy. So we're going to have to make it harder next week. But the question, just as a reminder, who wrote the Divine Comedy? The answer is Dante. And the winner this week is Patricia Sajevec.
Ah.
So she must be quick on that dial. So congratulations.
Well, she had to have been because that phone rang right after
As soon as we
finished.
said the number,
As soon as you
it
said
was,
03, it was ping. That's how.
it was her. Okay. Well, very good. Congratulations. And Brian will be bringing you this card.
Cut in half.
Hopefully he won't hide it for you. You all know he's got a reputation of that. But with gift cards, I don't think he does that. I think it's just when there's beers. He likes to hide the beer.
Oh.
Yeah. He does like an Easter egg hunt with it.
Oh, like a scavenger.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
find it.
He has fun with that.
Except when he goes to church with them, then apparently
Then he doesn't hide it on you. If you go to
that,
church
so
with him, he doesn't
We
hide it.
found out the way to get him.
We
get
did.
them all
We
to go to
found that
church
out
with
on
him.
Wednesday, I think. So, before we do the joke of the day, just to remind you for next week, Monday, we're not sure yet. So that is a surprise. It's going to be a surprise day. It will not be the river churns, but it will be something, hopefully.
All right.
Tuesday, river churns. We're back.
River Churns.
Wednesday, we're going to attempt Hamilton again.
Okay.
Okay?
Good.
Thursday, the gift shop fashion show.
Oh.
Now that's going to be pretty cool to see how they do all that. That's going to be a lot of moving parts. So that should be really fun to watch. And then Friday, we're back again, river churns. So
We're going to be here Tuesday and Friday next week.
We are.
Monday still, we don't know yet.
Monday's still question mark.
Hamilton on Wednesday,
Yes.
and then the big gift shop
Fashion show.
show
Yes.
on Thursday. That's exciting.
Yes, very exciting.
Okay. All right. Well, Lisa, you printed me off some jokes here
I
today.
did. They're just some short little jokes.
Short little ones. All right. So
Yes.
let's try a couple of them.
Okay,
See if,
okay.
if everybody likes them. If you don't like them, then tell me, and we'll toss the rest of them. But this one said, last year I replaced all the windows in my house with those expensive double-pane, energy-efficient kind. But this week I got a call from the contractor complaining that his work had been completed a whole year and I'd yet to pay for them. Boy, oh boy, did we go around. Just because I'm blonde doesn't mean that I'm automatically stupid. So I proceeded to tell him just what his fast-talking sales guy had told me last year. He said that in 1 year the windows would pay for themselves. Okay. So, wife was making a breakfast of fried eggs for her husband. Suddenly her husband burst into the kitchen. Careful, he said, careful. Put in some more butter. Oh my gosh, you're cooking too many at once. Too many. Turn them. Turn them down. We need more butter. Oh my gosh, where are we going to get more butter? They're going to stick. Careful, careful. I said to be careful. You never listen to me. When you're cooking? Never. Turn them. Hurry up. Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Don't forget to salt them. You always forget to use the salt. Use the salt. 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 The wife stared at him and said, what in the world is wrong with you? You think I don't know how to fry a couple of eggs? The husband calmly replied, I just wanted to show you what it feels like when I'm driving.
See, that was cute.
That's a good one. I may be guilty of that.
All right,
You
well,
might be.
one more. A guy is reading his paper when his wife walks up behind him and smacks him on the back of the head with a frying pan. Ouch. He asks, what was that for? She says, I found a piece of paper in your pocket with Betty Sue written on it. He says, geez, honey, remember last week when I went to the track? Betty Sue was the name of the horse I went there to bet on. She shrugs and walks away. 3 days later, he's reading his paper when she walks up behind him again and smacks him on the back of the head with the frying pan. He said, what was that for? She answers, your horse called.
See, those were cute.
They are cute, Lisa. I like them. That was 3 good ones there. So. Well, we'll leave you with that one.
We have more for next week.
We have more for next week. You can tell us whether or not you really like them that much, and we could do some more, or we'll find something else. But well, we hope you all have a great weekend. Stay cool. I looked at the weather forecast for like the next 8 or 9 days. 90s every day. So we are definitely in the heat of the summer. So
Yes,
please be
dog
careful.
days of summer.
The dog days of summer.
Yep.
Why do they call it the dog days of summer?
I
Anyway?
don't know.
Is it? Do the dogs like this kind of weather? Is that what it was? Is that
Probably
what
we're all panting like,
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that could be the trivia question. Why is it called the dog days of summer?
that's a good one.
I like it.
But we won't know the real answer.
And everybody out there is probably going, that's so easy. Why don't they know that, right? We hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. We love you all very much. See ya.